live so alive, stand all the things you want or read.
My name is Tree. Everybody in the world knows me as Tree. My mail comes Tree. Being raised in Brooklyn, I was part of a gang. If you were born in the 30s and 40s and in the 50s, everybody was a gang member. But I would like disappear on weekends and nobody knew where I went. I used to tell them I'm visiting relatives, but I stuck into the city because we didn't know about gay bars. We knew about, believe it or not, men's rooms and movie houses and train stations. That's where you met all your friends. In those days, you had to hide your homosexuality. My friends used to beat me up if I found out I was gay. Now they come to the bar to say hello to me. There were very few people living in the village at that time. I came from Brooklyn, people came from Queens, Jersey, Staten Island. We all would meet on weekends. We'd sit on the stoop all 24 hours a day just talking until the cops came and put a spotlight on us and say, okay, girls, move on. Then we'd get up, walk around the block and go sit down again. I slept on the roofs of buildings. Nothing was locked around here. Everybody trusted each other. Then one day I was walking in Chelsea on 20th Street. It said apartment for rent. I went in, looked at it, took it, and I'm there 47 years now.
You've been sitting.
Eating gay in the 50s and 60s was owned or run by half the mafia. They knew gay people had money long before Macy's, American Express, and they wanted it. They knew two men wanted to dance together in a bar. I spent 12, 13 times in jail overnight for being in a bar that was raided by the police. Sometimes they just throw us out the door. They take our name down. I would say Fenwick Fingernail, and he would write Fenwick Fingernail. And then sometimes they took us to a big cell, a holding cell. And then we went before the judge in the morning. Some judges said, you're wasting our time, and threw us out of court. And some judges called us perverts and fined us $20, which is like $200 today.
You know that you are free.
The original bar is where the nail salon is, next door. It was a dump, wiring hanging all over. It was a burnt out bar, and the boys came in, painted the whole place black, ceiling, floors, and walls. We came in that side, and at the end of the hallway, we had to sign a book. And my name in those days was Fenwick Fingernail. Nobody carried ID, so everybody made up names. People used Queen Elizabeth, Mary Dugan. We had to sign the book because they were trying to convince the police it was a private club. But when people like Vinny the Chin, Harry the Hat, Frankie Shades, and Fat Tony own the place, they know it's not a legit place. In 1969, I was 30. That's the day of the raid. Bar was not raided by the neighborhood precinct, who was getting money. It was raided by the vice squad and police headquarters, who were after the bosses. Money laundering, no licenses, and every once in a while they'd find an associate with a bullet in the back of his head. So they raided the bar to get to them, not knowing who was in here that night. They didn't come in nice. When a neighborhood precinct raided a bar, that was their way of telling the owners, we need more money next month. But this was the vice squad. They came in pushing, shoving, hitting people, throwing drugs on the floor, saying, step on that, that's yours. And one cop pushed Stormy, and she beat the cop up. She was a bouncer in a lesbian bar and a bodyguard till she was 88. She got arrested and a few other people because you can't beat up a cop without getting in trouble. We fought back and started hitting the police, breaking bottles, breaking windows, shaking their cop cars, overturning, breaking paddy wagon locks. When we ran out of things to throw, we lit every garbage can in the neighborhood and flung them through the windows. And that's when the riot squad came.
They will try to make you crawl.
The following year, Charlie, my friend Frankie Bubbles, were walking up the block, and all our friends were standing right here. It wasn't a parade, it was a march to Central Park. We called them We're gonna walk all the way to Central Park for what? And they finally convinced us to go. So we said, we'll walk to 14th Street. But as we walked up, everybody was calling us queer, fag, dyke, leslie. So we kept walking and walking. We got to Central Park. Two people were making a speech we never heard of. We turned around and came down to the village, and we figured, that's it. A year later, nothing's going to happen, and who knew that 43 years later, there was 1.5 million people down here.